Alright, what's up guys? Mad Notes here, and I'm back playing some more Rocket League. Also, I just got back from watching Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Well, not just got back, it was a few hours ago. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it. But before I get into that, let's take a look at what we're looking at right here. Rocket League continues to impress me and amaze me. Not just with its gameplay, but with how awesome its DLC is. Look at this fucking Batmobile. This is the Batmobile, obviously, from Dawn of Justice, and it's awesome. Not my favorite Batmobile, but it's cool. But the fact that it's in this game is so awesome. I remember when I saw the trailer for it about a month ago or so. Like, my jaw dropped. I was so excited. Anyone that knows me knows that Batman is my all-time favorite superhero. You know, he is 1 and Spider-Man would be 1A. But I was just so thrilled that the Batmobile was going to be in Rocket League. And I think I mentioned this before, but this game totally satisfies that itch of like collecting Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars as a kid, and you know, you just like line them up and like let them roll down a hill against your friends' cars. You know, it's so much fun, and this game definitely kind of sort of taps into that. And I love that. I love that there's like iconic vehicles from movies and, you know, other pop culture media that's in this game, like the DeLorean. And I hope there's more shit that like that ends up in this series. So let's talk about Dawn of Justice real quick. A lot of people have been giving this movie hate, and after seeing it, I do not understand why the level of hate is there for it. I thought it was a really good movie, and having said that, I totally tempered my enthusiasm for this movie. It didn't hurt. It didn't help that it was done like over a year and a half ago. It's been like 3 years since you know, from like announcement or start of shooting to like finished product. That's a crazy long time to wait, especially for me being a Batman fan and, you know, just wanting to see more and more of him on the big screen. But and also having heard the reviews, yeah, I tempered my enthusiasm. I went into it not expecting a whole lot, and I came out really happy with the movie. That being said, there were things in it that just baffled me, disappointed me, and just left me scratching my head. Why? So let's go ahead and talk about the negative first. Starting with Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot, sorry. That name, just change it please. It should be Gal Gadot, it just sounds better. But the thing about her was people were up in arms about her physique and how skinny and frail she looked, and I admit that I was also a little worried about that, because obviously Wonder Woman is a warrior and she should look the part. She should look big. I like big girls, like, now, like, you know, muscular women, like, you know, She-Hulk, and Wonder Woman fits that profile as well. But the issue I had with Wonder Woman in the movie was not her physique, but her performance. There's the scene in the trailer where Bruce Wayne is talking to her. As soon as she opened her mouth, I could not understand what the fuck she was saying. That accent is just bad. I mean, I guess that's her real accent. I don't know if it was a choice that she made, but it just didn't suit me. I needed subtitles to understand what the fuck she was saying. But the good thing about it was, on the topic of her physique, there's a shot towards the end of the film where she's standing next to Batman, and Superman's dead, spoilers, on the ground, and there's a great shot of her thighs, and they're like big tree trunk thighs, and I was like, well, damn, that looks good. Like, she definitely put in a lot of work to look the part, but I just didn't feel her performance in that way. If anyone's ever seen the recently, I guess not recently, I think it came out about a year ago, the Justice League War animated movie. I really liked how Wonder Woman's portrayed in that movie, just because she takes so much delight and revels in battle, and I was really disappointed that when she's fighting Doomsday, like, there's moments she doesn't verbalize her enjoyment in fighting, but there are moments where, like, she's getting beat up and she's like kind of smirks, like, she's like, oh, she's into it. But I just wish she could have verbalized it a little better. But everything else about Wonder Woman was cool. I liked how she used her lasso. It was fucking awesome. She uses her bracelets to deflect shit, and it was cool. I don't know if it made me more or less excited for her solo movie. I guess so. I mean, I'm gonna go see it no matter what. But I just felt like their performance could have been a little bit better. Another huge disappointment I had with this movie, and it might be the biggest disappointment I have. There's obviously, okay, there's Lex Luthor in the movie, and in the comics, in the cartoons, one of the main things about him is he has this hot female bodyguard named Mercy, and I always like that idea of, like, a villain that can't necessarily fight for himself having, like, a hot female henchwoman. I just think that's such a cool idea. Well, there's a sequence in the movie where Lex Luthor basically cons someone that's disgruntled with Superman into becoming a suicide bomber, essentially. But the fact is that Mercy is there where this bomb is supposed to take place, and Lex Luthor knows this is going to happen, and he puts her in danger on purpose. Why would Lex Luthor have Mercy die that way? I just didn't understand it. Like, I was expecting, like, Mercy to have a moment in the movie where she would, stand up to Superman, or, like, have a fight with Batman, but she just dies in the middle of the fucking movie. It was such a huge disappointment to me, because the actress, she was really cute, and she seemed like, she would be good in that role of, like, protecting Lex Luthor. So I was really disappointed about that. Another issue I had with the movie was Doomsday, and I guess it was I guess it didn't. I didn't feel a disappointment so much just because they had already revealed how Doomsday was going to look in the trailer. That being said, it was still really disappointing. When you first see him, he looks really shitty. Like, there's nothing to. He looks like a Gray Hulk, basically. And I was really disappointed. Like, I wish you could have seen him first in, like, his in the comics, like in his first appearance. You don't actually get to see how Doomsday looks. He's wearing, like, this, I think it's called a containment suit. It basically looks like a green surgeon's uniform, and I always thought that was a really cool, like, look. Like, it's just a surgeon's uniform with goggles, and, like, it looks like barbed wire wrapped around him. It's a really cool image, and I wish we could have seen that. But in the movie, he sort of, like, hatches from a fucking... It looks like something on Lord of the Rings, like how the Uruk-hai are born. Like, he just kind of just pops out of this fucking, like, womb thing, whatever. But he does sort of, like, as he takes more damage, the sort of the bone, like the bones do sort of come out of his skin like he looks in the comics, but it still doesn't look. I have no idea why they didn't give him a more comic accurate look. The only thing I can think of is that when they're making these movies, they are purposefully holding things back so that, you know, in 10 years when we're getting the, you know, the next iteration of a Superman, they'll actually do the you know, faithful look of Doomsday to get people to watch it. I was really disappointed because I've always loved Doomsday's design. I love the fucking like bone beard that he has, and the bones coming out of his knuckles, and like, you know, just seeing that, you know, you feel the pain of Superman getting stabbed every time he gets punched by Doomsday. You know, I really like that aspect of it. As a character, yeah, he's kind of shallow. He's just like a brute, but he's a fucking awesome brute. So yeah, that was pretty disappointing. So what was good about this movie? Well, first and foremost, fucking Ben Affleck was awesome. This is the best on-screen iteration of Batman I've seen, I think, to date. Not only was he an awesome Batman, he was an awesome Bruce Wayne. There's a moment towards the beginning of the movie where he's coming down into the Batcave on an elevator, and he looks fucking jacked. I was like, holy shit, man. Like, he just looks so badass, and he looks great in the costume as well. Oh, got a match here. It's gonna be kind of hard to talk and play at the same time, but another thing I kind of dug, which I didn't think I would, was how the Flash looked in the movie. There's like a... Oh shit. About the own goal. There's a sequence where, you've probably seen it in the trailers, where there's like a dream sequence. But before that happens, the Flash appears to Bruce Wayne. It's like a kind of a portal opening up, and the Flash is there, and he sort of gives him like a warning. He's like, he says, you know, Lois is the key, and you know, you were right about him. Which I don't get why he says that, because Superman, I mean, Batman was really critical of Superman, so why would he say he was right? But the thing I loved about the way that scene was done was, I thought Flash looked fucking cool. Like, I'll admit I wasn't really sold on Ezra Miller as a Flash, but he actually looks really cool in the movie. But the thing that's awesome about it was his costume. Like, before he finishes what he's saying to Bruce, oh, what the fuck? Before he goes away and finishes his like little warning to Bruce, he has like a helmet that comes over his face, kind of like Iron Man does, and there's no like eyes and no mouthpiece. It's just a fucking helmet that comes over him. And I was like, man, that looks fucking awesome. He looks like Hawkman, like, no joke. I was like, oh man, that is so cool. I really like that aspect, and I hope that we get to see that costume in the Flash movie. Shit. Fuck yeah, get in there. Another thing that was cool too, that a lot of people were hating on, was the way the rest of the Justice League is introduced. Basically, you know, Bruce Wayne hacks Lex Luthor's sort of like information grid or whatever, and it shows that Lex Luthor's like been researching all these metahumans, and he knows about Flash and Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg. I actually didn't think was going to be really... Fuck, I missed. What... I didn't think Cyborg was going to be really interesting, and I didn't think he should have his own movie. Like, I didn't understand why. But there's these little sequences where it's like security footage. You see like Wonder Woman, like getting her face like scanned, and you see shit. But the thing about it was cool is like, fuck, get in there. Sorry, it's hard to talk and, and play at the same time. But basically you get these little security snippet footage. There's one of Flash, and he's like in a like a corner store, and it's getting robbed. And he basically, like, the lights kind of go dim, and he's like holding a glass of milk, but he also like saves the cashier. And then they show the Wonder Woman one, and the Aquaman one is probably the worst. It's like sort of like an underground, like, you know, those like sort of James Cameron documentaries where he's like going underwater looking at the Titanic. Well, it's like that. It's like a camera going into an old abandoned ship, and you see these like blue eyes, like light. It look kind of like a light of a fish, you know, that can produce, you know, electricity light like that. He basically comes out of the ship and he looks at this camera for like a weird, like awkwardly long time, and then he like punches the camera, and it's just so goofy looking. But then he like kind of swims away, and it's a really cool effect. It kind of looks like the way how Superman takes off. It's kind of like that effect, except underwater. But the one I really dug was the Cyborg one, which I was really surprised by. Basically, it shows, and I forget his real name, fucking Cyborgs, but you basically see a dude kind of like strung up on a table, and he's basically Cyrax. He has no arms, he has no legs, and his dad is there trying to work on fixing his body. And there's some genius casting, because the dad is played by the dad is played by fucking Miles Dyson. I was like, oh, that is such perfect casting. And there's like this cube thing. I don't know much about Cyborg's origin, but it's basically like there's this cube that sort of like merges with his body, and it sort of like creates a living fucking suit for him, you know. And I actually thought that was a pretty get in there, pretty awesome sequence. Another character in the movie I liked that I didn't think I was going to was Lois. I don't know what it was, but she kind of looked like she gained some weight, and she looked really hot. Like, fuck. I think in the Man of Steel she was actually pregnant, but she looks a little bigger in this movie, but not in a bad way. She looks really good. Shit, and the scenes with her and Clark are actually really good. Some really heartfelt scenes that I thought, oh fuck. Yeah, it's hard to play and talk at the same time. And speaking of Lex Luthor, I wasn't like so totally against like the Zuckerberg Lex take on it. I didn't think it was gonna be great, but I wasn't totally against it. But I actually ended up really liking it. I think he brings a lot of humor to the movie, Jesse Eisenberg. Oh shit! And wow, getting a fucking ass kicked. He brings a lot of humor to it, and it's an interesting performance. It's kind of all over the place. A lot of people didn't like it, felt that it was kind of cheesy or whatever, but I don't know. I thought it was good. It brought some levity to the movie, which a lot of people said that, you know, it was devoid of fun or humor, and I actually disagree with that. I think you could say that about Man of Steel, that there wasn't much humor in it, but fuck, dude. But no, actually, Dawn of Justice actually has some laugh out loud moments. Not on the level of a Marvel movie, but you know, not exactly totally fucking somber as well. Oh shit. But anyway, yeah, I thought Dawn of Justice was awesome. I thought Batman was awesome in it. I'm looking forward to, you know, solo Batman action. Looking forward to Suicide Squad. I think it's gonna be awesome. And you know, the thing of it is, a lot of people, myself included, really disagreed with how DC was going about their cinematic universe by basically kind of fast forward, like, you know, rushing ahead, you know, and not doing the solo movies, building to the team up movie the way Marvel did. But looking back on the movie now, I actually agree with the way they're going about it. I don't think we need, you know, a lot of people for years have been saying we don't need the fucking origin stories told over and over and over again. And so it's like, yeah, we're in the age of, you know, people know these characters, and if they don't, people can find out about these characters. Let's put them together and let's see some cool shit right up front. And so in that respect, I actually like that we're getting, you know, a Justice League movie sooner rather than later. And in a way, they're not totally like skipping that far ahead, because we're getting Justice League and then we're getting like some solo movies before the second one, you know. So I agree with I agree with the way that Warner Brothers is handling it, in a way that I didn't think I would. Fuck, man, I'm still really bad at the fast breaks. No! Total destruction. Tusk, please leave. Yeah, fuck you, Tusk. Please bring in a human. Oh. No boost! Damn it. What? There's a Vault Boy in here? Oh, that's awesome. When did they have that shit? That's fucking cool.